Hey guys, this is Ryan from the Backgammon 316 channel. Thanks for coming back. A lot of you guys have been asking me, or a few of you have been asking me, I should say, gotta be realistic here. What's my daily driver? What's the Bible I'm using the most now? And for the past 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, it has now been this Legacy Standard Bible Handy Size in the paste down liner, blue. It's the navy blue patina leather from 316 Publishing. There it is right there. It's got some stuff right there because the chair is a little dirty. I'll wipe that off in a moment. It's a great leather. It's really nice. I actually like the way it feels. It feels grippy. It feels like it's not going to go anywhere. It's flexible enough. It's stiff but flexible at the same time. And it's in a single column verse by verse layout with red numbers for the chapters and beautiful margin space on both the left and the right side with the text. So I made the decision to go to the Legacy Standard Bible in light of recent events that have been going on in my life, how I'm trying to grow in my relationship with the Lord, dealing with some things, but also an encounter I had with a Jehovah's Witness lady. Because they love to use the New World Translation, and they love to emphasize that the New World Translation is the only translation that's out there that has the name Yahweh in there, except of course for the early ASB. They're not really too aware of modern translations. They don't really turn to those much. They usually use the NWT or the King James Version. And they love to use the King James Version against you if they can, because there are certain verses that are not in older manuscripts and things like that, or wording, and they try to do that to trump Christians, which happens a lot. So, but then again, if you know anything about textual criticism, or if you've watched a James White video on King James onlyism, you're going to know how to answer those kind of questions they bring up. So with that being said, I've been enjoying the Legacy Standard Bible mainly because a more precise translation is needed to understand meaning much better. I could understand why translators want to go with a dynamic equivalence in that they want to convey the meaning, but they won't use the word itself. They'll just put the meaning of that word there. I mean, I'm paraphrasing what that is, but that's basically what dynamic equivalence is. It's just conveying the thought of the author, the thoughts of the author. I'm more of the opinion that if you have the actual words there, as close as you can, of course, this isn't the most accurate because we don't have the originals. I wish it was, but it's not. Every Bible translator wishes they had the original, no matter if they're dynamic or formal. So it's totally understandable. But I like the Legacy Standard Bible because it's still in the same lineage as the King James Version of the Bible. It's which it started with the King James, and then there was the American Standard Version, which is what a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses use, and now it's the New American Standard, the 1970s edition. I forgot which one, sorry. And then there's the 95 edition, which everybody knows, and now there's the new 2020. So it has a lineage in the King James. It follows the word order somewhat with the King James, with the exception of a few areas where they'll follow Greek word order, how the Greek sentence. That's why sometimes the NASB could be choppy for some people. I know some people say wooden. I say choppy or clunky, but that doesn't mean it isn't readable. So I went with the Legacy Standard Bible because I knew that the translators had a high view of the meaning of the words. Leave the words as they are, and if anything, you will have to look up those words and know what they actually mean, and you'll have a deeper appreciation for why that word is there. And of course, in a Bible like this, write the meaning of it right next to the verse. Get your phone out. You don't know what a word means? Google it on your phone. Write it right there. Pretty simple. This was another reason I went with this one, and I have it open to Ephesians for a reason. Chapter 2, we all know this in Ephesians, for by grace you were saved through faith, that not of yourselves, is the gift of God. We all know that verse, but I wanted to show you guys something right here. Chapter 2, and you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the ruler of the power of the air, the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience, Now, if you look this up in, I believe, the CSB and the NIV, it says working in the disobedient. Now, is that wrong? No, of course not. Obviously, there's a different, it's still conveying that there are disobedient children out there or disobedient people, and they don't leave the words the sons of in there, and they just put the disobedient, and it flows a little nice. That's fine. I'm not against that. But are we missing something when we take that word, the sons of, out of there? Yeah, we kind of are. Look at John chapter 1, verse 12. To those who believed, he gave the right to become what? Children of God. Romans chapter 8. For those who are led by the Spirit, they are what? Sons of God. Now, I'm paraphrasing those verses, but you know that the words sons of are in there. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that you're either a son of God or you're not. Now, especially when we look at Jesus in John chapter 8, what did he say to the Jewish leaders? You are of your father, the devil. He said it to his own people. Jesus had a huge emphasis on father-son relationship in how he did his ministry and how we are adopted into that family as well. So having the words sons of right there is kind of saying these are not sons of God. They're not a part of the family of God. They're sons of disobedience instead, of the world. And so the CSB doesn't have the word sons of in there. And I was like, bummer, because I almost got it. But that's not a knock on the CSB. I get what they were trying to do, and I'm not against it. So yeah, I decided to go with this. And also, like I said, I may have mentioned earlier, the use of the word Yahweh in the Old Testament is very important when witnessing, especially with Jehovah's Witnesses, because I've been doing that now. And they've been coming to my door, and I'm also currently engaged in an email conversation with one. Maybe I'll make a video on that in the future. But nonetheless, I had a Jehovah's Witness try to use 1 Samuel 1 Samuel chapter 1 against me when I quoted John chapter 20, where Thomas looks on Jesus and he says, "My Lord and my God." And the woman told me, well, when Hannah was talking about her husband, she called him Lord, but that doesn't make him God. Well, guess what? If you have a Legacy Standard Bible, you could read in verse 26 right here, and she said, "Oh, my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman who stood here beside you praying to Yahweh." Now, if you have an ESV or anything else, you know that's going to be Lord, capital L-O-R-D. But here, it helps you make the distinction between Yahweh and the Hebrew word for Lord. So I think that's really important. I think that could be really useful. And not only that, not just for Jehovah's Witnesses, but for you, so you can know when words are being applied to God or not. I think that's really important. I've taken notes in this Bible. I've been using it a lot. This video is going longer than it should because I love it. Revelation chapter 1. I do little symbols for like certain passages that cultists use. So I'll put like JW or LDS for Mormon or things like that. But nonetheless, I don't always do it for just religions or cults. I do it for other things as well, like atonement or whatever. So yeah, like here I could write some nice notes, and because it's verse by verse, I could track lines around and go, hey, here it is. It's kind of hard to do this in a double column paragraph style format. You can't really do this, but if it's verse by verse, it helps you to slow down and actually read the text. So you can kind of see my notes right here. The only knock I have in this Bible, if you can tell, is the lack of references. That's kind of a bummer with it. And so what I've been using is my LSB single column reference right here in the blue cowhide, which is amazing. And I just go and use the references in here. This would be a great writing Bible, but there's not a lot of margin. I know everybody's going to say, well, you've got the little space right here in the middle. You're right. I could do something in there, but it doesn't line up with the verses or anything like that. So... but nonetheless, this is a great Bible too. excuse me, nothing wrong with it. Nice cowhide, it holds together. And so, yeah, but anyways, yeah, like for example, I'm reading through this right now. David A. Reed's Jehovah's Witnesses Answered. Going through it, he has all the verses there that Jehovah's Witnesses like to use from the Old Testament to the New, from Genesis to Revelation, how they use it and what it really means. This is a great book. And yes, the woman who I've been talking to quoted extensively from many of the verses that are in here. So anyways, you guys wanted to know what my daily driver was. It's this guy right here, the LSB Handy Size in the blue patina cowhide, and it is a paste down liner, and I love it. It opens flat. There you go. Not even in Genesis. And I got 32 pages of lined paper here in the back, which I will be using. And I'm excited to get on that. I just need to have a good plan set out. So that's it, guys. That is now the translation that I use now. I may go to the NAS once in a while, but I think the LSB from now on will be my primary translation. If 316 is watching this, the only thing I would recommend, let's try and get the references here in the gutter and leave a wide margin out here with the text. If you guys do that, I'll be your first customer, because I love having references and footnotes. Sometimes the thing about this Bible is there might be brackets in here, but there's no footnote. It doesn't tell you anything. So that's why I'd have to go to my reference edition or get on my phone to find it. So there you guys have it. This is my new daily driver. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and God bless.